Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in the grind, no escape from me. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see I'm just a poor boy, scraping by minimum wage. Born in the shadows of the city lights, concrete cradle under endless nights. Daddy worked 2 jobs, mama prayed for rain. Bills like chains rattling around my brain. But I read the books when the wolves were at the door. Charts and candles on the bedroom floor. Stocks in the morning, real estate at noon. Silver and gold under the harvest moon. Sweat on my collar, fire in my veins. Every dollar saved was breaking free from the pain. They said play it safe, boy, stay in line. Clock in, clock out till the end of time. But the system's a cage with a velvet disguise, promising heaven while it steals your life. Rise from the ashes, I built my throne. Turn pennies to empires of my own. Stocks and stones, bricks of gold, silver rivers in the stories I told. I broke the wheel, I broke the road, golden chains, no more. Golden chains, no more. I sold my fear for a pocket full of grit. Learned the hard math, made the numbers fit. While they were laughing, I was making my move. Every red defeat had something left to prove. Late night hunger and a borrowed chair, 1 cracked lamp and 1,000 stairs. I watched the weak hands fold and bend, then I doubled down and called it the end. Now the same old names come crawling back, knocking on my door with their polished stack. But I know that sound, I know that price. I paid in blood for this small.
All right, good morning, all you silver stackers out there. Thanks so much for being here. Hope everybody's doing great. We are on Friday finally. We made it through the week. We are looking forward to the weekend. Obviously, we've got some price movements over the last few days, which nothing's really been moving at a very fast pace. It's just kind of been a downward trend since we hit that little $86 spike or so not that long ago. So today I just kind of wanted to sit back and talk about the things I kind of like talking about the most. We'll talk about the markets, look at some charts, try to understand where this thing might be going the best of our ability. And, just kind of have some fun talking about precious metals. If you don't know, a while back, I actually completed the Queen's Beast set in 2 ounce silver pieces and set them into this cigar box. So probably not the best way to preserve nice looking coins, but hey, I like it. And I'm able to easily see all the coins and check them out if I want. So I enjoyed this little display here. I am considering, especially if silver were to get down into the 50s and 40s again, I would probably pull out a 10-ounce Queen's Beast collection piece. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. Good morning, that ASE guy, guys. I think this YouTube channel is washed, man. I think we're done. If people don't want to watch, it's okay. So yeah. We're going to get into that, and we'll switch the screens here and start talking about what everybody wants to talk about. Silver. Here we go. Switch. Boop. Got it. All right, nailed it on the first try here. All right. So going in here, precious metals. Again, we're starting the morning off a little soft. Again, 1% moves and stuff don't really bother me that much. I don't really look at that as volatile or speculation, as some channels like to say. It's just a couple percent here or there is kind of normal in today's markets. You start getting above the 6% movements ranges in one day. That to me is a little bit more newsworthy. So we're sitting here at 72.77 bid, 73.02 ask for silver, gold 44.67, 44.69, pretty stable there. Platinum 1893 and 1903 bid ask. All of it's pretty stable. Palladium, got probably, I don't know, it just it's all kind of flat, not much trading. It looks like, hey Kevin, how's it going? I mean, it kind of has felt like a lot of the trading volume has just gone away. Oh, why does my thing say stream delay? That's not true. We're not delayed at all. Get that off here. It does look like a lot of the trading volume has mellowed out. I feel like we're not the new hot topic right now. When the euphoria was happening, the euphoria phase running up was happening, it was on everything. Precious metals were on all the news. Everybody had thoughts about it. Everybody was pushing narratives and just going crazy with it. And it was driving a lot, of people into it. I mean, the COMEX is reducing margin rates and such, which indicates to me that their trading volume is under control, to where now they want to encourage, right? They want to encourage more contracts to be traded up and down, So those kind of things are indicators to me, right, of what the market's like. Then we also look at the online dealers. Look at all the online dealers. They are all offering spot prices on silver right now, for generic rounds and such, ASEs for close to spot, they're maples for close to spot. They are doing a lot of things to kind of drive sales, which tells me that the retail demand has fallen off the face of the earth a lot. So there's a lot of good indicators here that we can use. We can connect some dots to form some trend lines, right? Hey, good morning, Sir Walter Thibodeau. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. So, all right. So we've talked. So we got the COMEX reducing margin rates, which indicates to me that they want more contract trading volume to enter, right? They're trying to encourage trading volume. What's up, biscuits? Muskets in the house. We've got retail demand online falling off pretty well. And then I just, if you're like me, you watch a lot of YouTube channels about precious metals, and I hear what these guys are saying. I hear what a lot of these stores are saying, even between their words, right? Sometimes you have to kind of read between the lines there, right? But some are explicitly saying that retail is really, really, really down in terms of the selling volume. I've heard some say as much as like 5% of their total daily volume is people actually coming in and buying silver. Most of it's just people selling all day long. Now, some people put themselves in a position as a good buyer, and therefore, people are trying to sell to them. But I listen to quite a few channels, and it seems pretty much across the board that, sales have dipped a lot since silver fell below, say $90, which is ironic, right? Because we all talk about how we're diamond claws and diamond hands, and we talk about how, you should never sell your precious metals, and, you should be dollar cost averaging, yet so many people just shy away when prices finally go down. So I don't know. Hey, to each their own, I guess. But you guys know we're always allocating assets in some way, putting cash towards something to make sure that it grows. It's not always precious metals. It's kind of a combination between stocks, real estate, precious metals, and collectibles. Kind of go all over the place, but there is obviously value to be had in these markets. So I would say, like, if you're a long-term believer, if you're long-term 20 plus years, you're going to do another generation with these precious metals. I don't think any of these daily price moves really matter all that much. It's more just people that want to trade, I guess, the market, SLV and stuff like that. So gold to silver ratio, if you're interested, we're up to 61.36. I personally feel like the 60 range is kind of like that low level. Yes, we can probably get to like 55 and stuff, 50, sure, on spikes and random things, but I feel like this range is probably, to me, it's the right range. I know other people want to discuss the quantity of silver to gold and Earth's crust and things like that, and I understand that, and I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I understand it. I just disagree. I just feel like this is the low end kind of for silver over the last 20, 30 years. Like, this is where we need to be. This is where we should be, because we trade on markets now. We trade on intangible markets. We don't trade in the actual commodity directly anymore. So it kind of goes out the window. But yeah, that's where we're at. And then let's hop over here and check out silver. So silver, this is a chart. I did not draw this chart today. Actually, I think we drew this chart a few weeks ago, when we were looking at it, we were looking at the SLV. This is the SLV. This is not like the actual silver contracts, but SLV pretty much tracks the motion of silver, right? Not a direct correlation, but it tracks pretty closely. So it's funny. We're looking at this chart. This is the 1 year chart. So this is the entire year out. So you can see what we're at. We're at June 25th, 2025 over here. June 4th, 2025, all the way at the end, all the way up to today, June 5th. So what we're looking at here is this is that channel that we talked about. So in a channel is when you kind of start to establish through multiple what you call tests, right? When you have multiple points on a high line, multiple points on a low line, you kind of start to form a trend, and then you take those trend lines and you kind of create things. So what we've kind of seen over time, now this can always change, but what we've seen now over the last 5 or 6 months is we are trading in this sort of like downward wedge trading triangle. And this channel has been pretty consistent for us, pretty consistent. In fact, you could probably even tighten up this line a little bit higher and raise it up a little bit and probably get down to that like 66 range as kind of a lower floor. But so we are establishing a pretty solid narrowing range. And as long as we don't massively break out below or above, if we break out above, that's a good sign. But as long as we don't break out massively below. The other thing I talk about a lot, and I just, whether you believe in technical analysis or you're more of a fundamentals, and these are real items in the world and they trade a certain way, that's, again, you form your own opinions and do whatever you're going to do. I'm just kind of looking at it from my lens here. So I'm looking at the 200-day moving average, which is what this blue line is down here at the bottom. This blue line at the bottom that curves is the 200-day moving average off of the 1 year chart, and it is sitting at currently at $60.55 is where the 200-day moving average is currently located. Now, every day, right? Every day that goes by, we are lopping off a lower number on the left, right? And then the number is higher on the right. And so every day that goes by, this 200-day moving average is technically going to keep increasing until it starts to kind of balance out even more. If you look on, from essentially, let's call it the end of November, which is how many months away? June, July, August, September, October. 5 more months. So we still have like a good 5 or 6 months where I really do think that we're going to kind of stay in a similar channel to this for the next 5 or 6 months, and a declining wedge where the bottom gets a little bit lower, the top gets a little bit lower. And we keep going. So I'm kind of expecting this, but that also doesn't mean that we can't trade within the range. Like the range is going to keep, they're going to keep bouncing up, to 80 and then 76 and 70, like we're going to see ups and we're going to see downs. It's just how markets work. But again, in the next 5 or 6 months, that's when we start to really see like that parabolic rise from last year. That will, we start to wash that out. And eventually when that's washed out, right, all the numbers kind of shift, because this is creating a lot of changes on your moving averages, because it has to factor in these massive ups and downs. So, hey, what's going on, Rocket Scientist 1969? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at there with the 1 year chart. I do feel like we're kind of where we need to be. I would not be shocked if we drift all the way back down to like 68 or 66. We are. I don't know. We will see. I think we'll see a rebound soon here. But people are talking about wanting to pick up silver. Why are we not interested in it when the price is going down? Why are we only interested in it when it's going up, exponentially beyond what a rational means is? So just kind of test your theories and what you're wanting to work on. This is the 3-month chart. Again, I didn't draw these. These are all drawn a while back to the moon. Hey, we I don't think it's gonna happen, Rocket Scientist. I'm not planning for that to happen, at least. But I'm not right all the time, and I certainly didn't expect that run up right there where we did kind of go to the moon. I feel like going up to 120 is, in my opinion, that's pretty much going to the moon. 180. This is the SLV again. This is not the silver price per ounce. So just a perspective there. But I think that we have mellowed out. And without a lot of massive trading volume, it's hard to get those exponential runs. So I don't see it. So anyway, this was that 3-month channel that guys, we're pretty much in it. I really, there's not much, like a couple percent more down before we kind of hit what I predicted to be kind of the low end, if we even get there. So we've seen, you can see a pattern, right? You start to see a pattern where there's interest bought up, and then it gets sold off as kind of like a taking profit, which happens at a much faster time period than the buy up. And then it seems like there's a disinterest period for a couple weeks, and then it gets bought up, and then it gets sold off quickly, and then there's a disinterest period for a couple weeks. That's kind of where again, this is what I am comfortable with. I don't know what other people are wanting or expecting. Hey, what's up? What's Texas Stacker? How you doing, bud? But I feel like we are well within our expectations of what price movement should be doing right now. So there's the 6 month again. We were looking at, ignore the 200-day. I don't really care about 200-day moving averages on 3 month and 6 month charts. It's just not enough time frame for those number of days. So you can ignore the wavy blue lines while we're in these charts. I use it more for the longer term, year, 5 year stuff like that. So that's what I see. I don't, again, if you guys see something different, I'm happy to discuss what you see and kind of like run it through my own mind here if you want. But I think we're good. And if I were a betting man, I am, right? I play these markets. I've got open trades for SLV. I've got open trades for WTI as well, because I feel like there's a lot of good oil trades right now. I'm getting to that point where let's say I had $1,000 that I wanted to put into the SLV. What I'd probably do is I would probably put 250 in at this point, right, today on the downtrend. And then I would try to put in another 250 a couple percent below that, and then another $250 a couple percent below that. And if it does if I do get my full 1,000 allocated because it keeps going down, 10%, well, okay, cool. Well, I DCA'd, downward, which is fine. And then I would expect it to have another pump up, rise up to around the $75, $76 range. And then that's when I would start to offload, right? I would offload, the same thing, 250 off at one point, and then 250 off at the next point, 250 off the next point. And then, if I see it's reversing, I might just go ahead and dump it all and then switch back, right? Does that make sense? It's okay. I am a real rocket scientist. I assumed, Mr. Rocket Scientist 1969, that I made a lot of assumptions based off your username, that you were born in 69 and that you were probably a rocket scientist. Let's talk about the problems that were caused when silver did go over $100. Well, we already did. I'll be happy. We can talk about it again. What's going on, Roadkill? Good to see you. What's Texas Stacker? I know I got to remember that not everybody watches every one of my live streams or videos. So let's talk about it again. What were the problems that happened in this time frame, right? Is that what you're asking? A lot of things. And there were, realistically, right, there were a lot of red flags that were happening between November. Why do I keep getting all these pop-ups? There were a lot of red flags that happened between November and January 30th. We can run through them all. The first red flag, guys, was when right around Thanksgiving of 2025, the COMEX shut off trading on a day that I think silver went up a pretty large clip in one day. I can't remember. It was somewhere between 8 to 15%. I'd have to go pull the historical data to tell you for sure. But there was a day where it had risen up really, really rapidly, and they pulled the plug, right? I don't care what they say. Cooling issues, blah, blah, blah. I don't care, right? There's never been another cooling issue up conveniently ever again. And only one specific market was affected in a data center, which handles like all the data, not just for one. Like there's no designated one section, one server goes down that's only precious metals. Like, give me a break. All right, so we know that the market was shut off, right? The spigot was turned off on that Thanksgiving time period, right? That was probably our first red flag. The other red flags were there were 2 or 3 margin requirement increases on the COMEX over that span period of time as well. Obviously, the price just going up that fast every day was another red flag, but let's ignore that. So that was another one, right? The other red flag is when all when all the news media start to talk about precious metals, like that is a red flag. I'm sorry, but like retail consumer, the herd hype is always a red flag. Now, it was great for YouTube channels. It was great for local coin shops. It was great for the online bullion dealers who were advertising all over the place, right? Online. You know, you couldn't probably open Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever people use, Google, without probably seeing some sort of precious metals ad back then, because precious metals were the hot topic, right? That was it. So that's a red flag, right? And in all markets, that's kind of a red flag. When your grandma, or not, well, that's a bad example. Probably in this example, when 18-year-old Uber drivers are talking to you about gold and silver, like there's your sign, right? Okay. Okay, so that was another red flag. What were some others? Oh, here's another one. Another red flag that happened during this time period. All of the online bullion dealers had to put up notices saying that they were going to delay and suspend shipping and stuff like that, to expect like a longer time period. Packages went from, basically I would probably within 10 days, I would place an order and receive my product before the massive run up. Back when, silver's like, $18 to $30, I could place an order at any time and I would get all like I would get my product like within a week after the cleared payment. Then all of a sudden, all the bullion dealers started putting up signs that they were on backlogs and they were processing all these orders and having all these delays, right? They were, it was crazy. It was crazy, right? There was another one, right? The refineries got so backed up and wholesalers that they stopped taking like odd weighted silver. They stopped taking 90%. They stopped taking scrap, sterling. I remember there was one that even had something like they wouldn't even take like something like 5-ounce pieces of silver. Like they wanted literally like 1 ounce or 10 ounce. Like I don't know. It was weird, right? There was a lot of weird stuff. Hey, what's up, Warhammer? I think a ton of dealers at 120 got burned in hindsight. Tons of people were selling even with dealer spreads. I agree with you on that. Warhammer, I talked about that. I talked about that very extensively. I went so far as to say that if the market didn't mellow out, that a lot of coin shops would go under and go out of business. So I went on the extreme side of it because liquidity would be too hard. I was saying that there wouldn't be enough people buying. And when the refiners closed the doors and stuff like that, my recommendation to a lot of coin shops was to put limits on their purchases every day or to stop buying altogether. I said it. Now, again, who am I? Nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody cares. But that was my concern, was that when metals were going up so much every single day, it's like everybody, like, I think most people retail wise, most people were probably buying online. And I understand people in this watching a freaking live stream about precious metals. You guys probably go to your LCS. I get it. But we're talking about like the generic public. The generic public was mostly buying online, and the more savvy, ingrained people that were selling were probably selling to their LCSs. So you could see this weird scenario where the LCS is getting bombarded with having to buy, people's precious metals. But then like the generic public is out there buying it online. And we know that they were buying online because all the online dealers, all of them had to put up notices, either increasing their minimum prices for you to even get an order through, or putting long delays on their shipping and stuff like that. So like somebody was going there, or a lot of people were going there, right? We'll see. Also, the kibosh on constitutional skewed the market some too, but primarily large sell-off we had from COMEX. Margin jumps to 25K. Yeah, I mean, the margin. So you have to, in this world with precious metals, it's a weird market, right? You have to separate retailers from the COMEX and the contracts. They are completely disassociated other than the price of which silver is, right? But they have nothing to do with each other in terms of like demand, right? Like if 1 million people went to their LCS and sold silver, it would have zero impact on the spot price of silver. And if 1 million people went and bought out their LCSs of silver, right? It would still have zero impact on the spot price of silver. It might have an impact on that LCS's actual pricing. They would probably increase, their margins, right? Because they have such high demand. They're going to be like, well, I can probably get a few more bucks if everybody wants this stuff, which is why you saw premiums increase so dramatically during the run up, is because if they're if they're going to have that kind of situation, like they have to cover their butts, because when prices would go up 10%, 15% in one day and then down 10, 15% the next day, like we were talking about with the $120, like these people were losing their butts. Some of these LCSs were losing their butts. And so they had to cover themselves by increasing their premiums and their margins, so that if the price of silver dropped, right, like obviously they're buying it for less and then they're going to sell it for more, because that's how they cover their spread so that they don't get screwed. And people were mad about that. Like it's a lot. Then you had YouTube channels telling people that their LCSs were selling out of silver. Yeah, West Texas Stacker, I'm trying to avoid any direct finger pointing or anything. But yes, it was I feel like there was some blatant lying happening for sure, where we I don't know, you could just see right, you could just see what was happening. Yeah, that was where all the display cases are empty. Yeah, I know exactly what you're alluding to, ASE guy, and West Texas. I know exactly what you got. And yet they have plenty of, like, they have all this silver in the back room or on whatnot, etc. But they're gonna try to act like, and that's a marketing ploy, right? You never want to say like the product that you're selling is not in demand. Does that make sense? Like, come on, like let's think about this. If I were selling pickles, right, on the side of a New York street, I would go around and I would be talking about how everybody loves pickles, and when the prices were going up really high, how you create, it's called artificial scarcity. You create artificial scarcity, be like, oh, there's only 5 pickles left, and then you get people like, look at all these people buying pickles. Oh my gosh, we sold out today by 12 o'clock. But really, what happened is you put 1,000 pickles back in their basin, and you just wanted to have them for the next day because you thought prices were going to go up. Like we all know. Again, we know what's going on. They can pull the wool over, right? They can pull the rug over a lot of people's eyes, though, because a lot of people are just, they just show up. They just show up to life. And why is there ads every time I try to do anything? They just show up to life, and they follow the crowd, and then they go with it, right? And hey, whatever. Nothing but love to those guys. Oh man, the rumor of silver being unavailable. Yeah, like, oh, silver, it's gonna, that was crazy too. I tried to I'll be honest with you guys, it's hard in this space to try to be a content creator about this stuff, because as soon as you say anything that's contrary to the 6 or 7 popular channels, as soon as you say anything that like they aren't saying, you get a lot of hate, man. Like, believe it or not, like I've had to block a lot of comments. You get people just like, it's just crazy. People don't want to hear a narrative that goes against what the masses are projecting, and those masses just so happen to be fully supported by industries that do well when their product sells, right? It just is what it is. It's not conspiratorial. It's not a problem. If I got I don't know, like if I got paid by some really cheap brand a lot of money, there's a chance I'd probably sell out too and be like, oh yeah, everybody needs to go get Pez dispensers. They're the #1 thing in the world. Buy Pez dispensers, right? Like something like that. Oh my gosh. The shops that were doing that got karma when the bubble popped. Yep, SGT, that's good too. Good morning, sir. That's a good point too, is like, we have to remember that, like, the cosmos kind of takes care of itself. But God will he'll reward those that want to speak and act with truth, and eventually the comeuppance will come to those that want to lie to people or mislead people, I guess you could say, the nicer way. So it all works itself out. That's why I acknowledge it. It might frustrate me for a second, and I understand, like, there's other channels that, like, and a couple people have stopped doing this, but like really, really, really go out of their way to like call out things that they disagree with. I mean, I kind of like tongue in cheek it more or less. I acknowledge it. I might make a joke about it, or I don't know, say something sassy about it, but then I kind of like, it's not really that big of a deal. I just kind of, again, for the 8 to 10 people that actually watch my channel, I appreciate you guys, and we we just try to say it like we see it. If you disagree with me, I don't care. Share your opinion and we'll talk about it. Pretty simple stuff. Also, I did pick up some gold and silver this week. I've got quite a little like haul of pesos now. Let me see if I can get an image for you guys. I don't have them out, obviously I put them back. Let me find it. I had an image and maybe I can open it up here. Open media link. There it is. Yeah. Let me see this. Pop this up here. Yeah. So I've been accruing my pesos. These are my dos pesos, dos y media pesos, and cinco peso. We're up to quite a bit of these guys, and it's becoming one of my favorite coins. I know this was really more talking about silver earlier, but here's some gold. This is becoming one of my favorite coins. I don't care about the dates and stuff. I just buy whatever, random dates. Most of these are all restrikes anyway, so it's a really cool coin to collect. The only thing better are the InQ's Indian Head American pre-33 gold. But we got them. The gold pesos are getting me feeling quite something. Oh yeah, sorry. It's funny, as I was talking about them in the Discord channel with all the guys, and somebody was saying the same thing. He's like, man, I might need to get me some of those pesos. But they're right now, if you're buying them online, you're gonna get a little bit of a premium, probably around like 8 to 10% premium on them. So take that for what it's worth. But I buy them from like peer-to-peer direct, and I typically just wait till they're like basically a spot price at the time that I'm buying them. So try to get the best price that I can. I always try to get the best price that I can, but whereas like at the end of the day, just keep, for me, as long as I'm within my allocation of precious metals to my total like asset allocation, I don't really care, because like it's just when I inventory stuff, the price that I have for it is pretty much like spot minus 10%. And my junk silver, all my 90% stuff, not my graded coins, but my junk silver, I have inventoried for value at spot minus 25%. So I kind of undervalue my inventory anyway, understanding that like when you go to sell, you're not going to get like the best price for like just generic stuff. If you got some really BU tubes of ASEs or something, yeah, like different story. You get what I'm saying. I also have a lot of like collector style pieces that I wouldn't sell those at an LCS anyways. I would only sell those to other collectors like myself on eBay or peer-to-peer or something like that. That way I can get a little bit higher dollar. You're gonna lose 13% off of fees if you do it that way. If you do peer-to-peer, I guess technically you're not getting the fees, but taxes are there and all that stuff. So it's not even really worth selling most of this stuff unless it like doubles in values for me anyway. So what do you got, Theory? I just picked up a 1918 Cinco pesos for spot on Monday. Hell yeah, SGT. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah, the Cinco peso is a good size. Cinco peso is a really nice size. So if anybody's curious, the dos peso, it takes 21 of them to make a ounce of gold, and the dos y media is about 16 of them to make an ounce of gold. So and then obviously your cinco peso is closer to that 1/10 ounce size. So that's really cool. Yeah, it's a good size. It's a good size. I like the was it the $5 Indian head is a really nice one for me. And the two, I think that's right. My theory is the big banks and big government wanted the silver southern price. Hold on. Wanted the silver southern price ran up to get people to sell. LCSs had no choice but to sell the refineries. Refineries sold the 1,000 ounces to them. I don't know. I don't know, West Texas. I really don't know. I don't know that it's that deep though. We know that, I mean, when I say we know, like we have reports that China was importing tons and tons and tons of silver and gold. We heard stories that, London, whatever, ran out, right? So maybe there was a lot of arbitrage happening. You're not saying it like it's malicious, I guess. I don't think that like my thoughts are sometimes I don't think the big governments and stuff, I don't think they really care about the people. I really don't think. I think that a lot of those entities view citizens as ants on an anthill that basically keep the anthill alive so that the queen can live gloriously. And so I don't really think they care. Like they don't. I don't think they care if we have silver, if we have gold, if we have. I mean, they care if we have rights. They care if we have firearms to protect our rights. But I don't think they care about like that until you get to a certain net worth. And if you get to a certain net worth high enough to where you actually are influential in politics and business and e-commerce, global commerce, that's when they actually care about you, and then they start to kind of put the manacles on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It could be a possibility. It could be that could be part of it, and it's combined with all the other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's digital contracts being sold, right? It was contracts on the COMEX being bought and sold, and they didn't all stand for delivery. So all the ones that didn't stand for delivery, that there was no physical exchange of the metal. It was just simply, I bought it for $10 and I'm selling it to somebody else for $20. So I'm making my money, and then I'm getting out of the contract before, it goes to expiration. And then the next person can sell it, and the next person can buy it, and the next person can sell it. And they don't have to stand for delivery, and they can also do cash settlements and stuff. So I don't know. We'll find out. At some point, maybe there will be actual investigation. What would be nice though, West Texas Stacker, is that when we do see some of these anomalies, right? It would be nice if the regulatory agencies that were responsible for actually regulating these markets, it would be nice if they would actually, investigate things and provide documentation and reports to the public to show us what the outcomes were of their investigation, so that we would know that A, they are actually investigating, and B, if something is maliciously being done, that they are holding people accountable to that, so that we know that we are actually entering a fair, open, transparent market. That's a pipe dream. I guess it'll never happen. What's going on? The Selfish Stacker here for the Goldback Fan Club secret meeting. I don't think I'm the president of that club, my friend. This is my digital coin club, though. We are starting a digital coin club at some point here, and I'll get you guys invited to that. We can all talk about that. But yeah, we're still good though, guys. So everybody's, again, we look at the silver price. I don't know. Is anybody surprised by the prices? Like I know we go down a couple percent in a week, and some people lose their heads and they make thumbnails and titles that are all insane, right? But I don't think that things are moving that fast. You doing the 100 pieces? Oh, what was this? Thank you very much for the super chat. That ASE guy, appreciate you. Says, good show. Don't spend the $1.99 all at once. I will put it into the coffers though. That's for sure. It all goes into a fund. It ends up in a giveaway. Dragoon, are you doing the 100 pieces of gold challenge this year? Sergeant, yes, I am actually stacking. Sergeant stacking. I'm at 44 pieces of gold. I've had SGT. Sorry, I don't know if it's Sergeant or SGT, but SGT, I've had a couple videos where I've counted out my 100 pieces of gold challenge, and I think oftentimes, like when I do lives where I actually have my metals out of the safe, I will show the gold and stuff and dump it out of the pouch, and we can count and stuff. But I did that really recently. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's one of those challenges, right? Like you're getting small fractional gold for, you're paying a little bit of extra for it because it's fractional versus buying like ounce coins, right? Not buffaloes. Buffaloes come with a huge premium, but St. Gaudens and stuff typically are close to spot or within spot. So I like picking up those. Well, I own one of those, but they are really beautiful. I've been picking up mostly 1/10 to peso size. I do not like, well, I've got a couple grams in assay cards. Those are all right, whatever. I normally throw those in as like an add-on, like $150 add-on to an order for something else. But I don't really like the gram size too much. And I do not like, I'll be honest with you guys, I do not like the 1/200ths, the 1/1000ths, the little flimsy, flake of gold that's like laser etched with some design on it. I have a couple of those. I really like, after owning them, I'm like, I am not a big fan of it. this stuff. So I try to stick to the dos pesos, like my smallest size, which is like 121 ounce. Do this before silver goes diabolic. You mean those titles? Yeah, yeah, selfish. Yeah, and again, look, man, it's a game. Content creation is a game. You're trying to entice people with your thumbnail and your title to get in here and, like, you know, click on your video and engage with it so that you can then, you know, be heard and be, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I get it. I understand the game. You know, it's anybody can play it. It is what it is. Like, but yeah, I don't think that a 1% drop or 2% drop, I don't think that's a crash. Like, you know, like even my title, right? Like, I don't even remember what it said. Something ridiculous. It was something stupid. Crashing silver opens, right? It's not a crash. Like, what are we talking about here? Dragoon. It's not a freaking crash. It's down 1%. It's a tongue-in-cheek. If you guys knew me, you'd know that I'm a very cynical, sarcastic bastard. So I do a lot of very tongue-in-cheek things to make fun of certain things. And yeah, this was intended to just be a joke about the fact that, like, that's what you're gonna see is like all these videos about, oh, silver's crashing hard. What do we do this? You know, great opportunities to buy during the crash. Like, oh, it's all the same crap. That's why literally the screen is this channel. The screen is set to this graph for a reason, is because every time we talk about technical analysis on the SLV, this is not the price of silver, right? This is the SLV. Every time we talk about this, we're like almost always within this stupid channel. So it's very much expected for it to trade up and down in this channel. And that's what we're looking at. It's the same thing every single time. We have a week run up, and then we have like a 3-day sell-off, and then we have stagnation for a week or two. It's the same thing every single time. So I'm happy about this, by the way. If you haven't picked that up in the jubilism in my voice here, I am very happy that we're in a channel finally. Click here or your silver dies. Yeah, that's a go. I might steal that one for my next one, Selfish Stacker. Good day, Mr. Rural Stacker. Thanks for joining us after you just got done running 15 miles. I appreciate you hopping in here. Yeah. If you don't click this video, you'll never know who stole your wealth, right? Or who stole your silver. The big banks are after your money. Yeah, I have fun with it. Just play the game, you know, right? Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what you got to think about with all these videos and titles and thumbnails. I'm gonna make a video that titled "Silver is Crashing" and not mention a single thing about the price. I've done that. SGT, I've totally done that. I did a video where I said something like what, it was something stupid. It was like silver is about to the silver price is about to collapse. And my whole video, SGT, I talked about gold. I showed gold and I talked about gold and I talked about buying fractional gold. like I understand that like people are gonna like unsubscribe and they're gonna feel jaded, like, oh, this guy clickbaited me, unsubscribe and go. Like, but do we really want to be surrounded by people that have no sense of humor? Do you want to be surrounded by people that like can't critically think? I don't know about you, but I'm good, man. I don't need I don't know. Like, big crowds are nice. I've had big crowds. It's all right, but you just get a lot of looky-loos, you know. So anyway, it's good times. So look, as long as we're on this, as long as we're in this channel, boys, I'm not worried. Let me show you what would worry me. Let me show you what would worry me. Okay, if I woke up and in a 2-day span, where's my pen? Give me my pen. Give me my brush. All right. If I woke up, is this actually gonna brush or what? What's going on here? Come on. All right. If I woke up in 2 days and I saw this, like I saw this down here, like that, there's some candle like that, I'd be worried. I'd be a little bit worried. Not that because my life and my future and my net worth is crashed to nothing. I'd be worried because that's probably going to be the start of a fallback all the way back down to like that level, right? Well, I guess I kind of drew it to that level, but when you see these like 2-3% moves up and down all day, like this is what markets do. Like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, what you don't want to see is like these candles right here, right? Like human beings don't make those candles. Oh, y'all can't see this because it's too tag. Oh, I can't drag. Can I drag? I can't drag. Stop. There we go. Oh, I just removed everything. Oh crap. I removed my chart lines too. Let's just get back. Let's just bring it back. Bring it back. Let's remove a couple of them. There we go. Let's start fresh. You know, when you see these kind of things right here, right in the middle there, I gotta zoom in here. There we go. You see that? Yeah, human beings aren't doing that. Like that's like an institutional algorithmic trade selling off at that top. That's all that is. So that is to me an indication of like, okay, the sell-off finished. Then when I see stuff like this, just so you guys know what I'm looking at, when I see stuff like that right there, see that? That is normalcy. That is just markets doing market things, a few contracts trading hands. Hey, what's going on, Oxb? Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here, dude. Or dudette, either one. If we had the answer to getting rich, we probably wouldn't be making videos about it. So people need to just chill. SGT. Well, SGT, I'll give you a secret. Some people get rich and then make videos about other stuff, right? About stuff that's fun little hobbies on the side that they do. Still stacking just costs less. Exactly. That's the right thing, Oxby. That's what I was getting at. So when I say this would scare me a little bit, like if we had a big giant red candle straight down, you know, like a good 10%er, 15%er in like 1 or 2 days, it would be alerting. It'd be alarming to see that and be like, oh, something bad just happened. How do I just go back to like normalcy? Thank you. But as Oxby just said, okay, sure. All right, you know, let's say you have 1,000 ounces. All right, you have 1,000 ounces up here, and your average cost is like $50 an ounce. Okay, well, if it drops back down to $50, like you're just buying at your average. I don't really think. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't really think that. I don't think that silver, personally, I don't think we're gonna get below 30 ever again. If we did, that would be, I don't know, some kind of cataclysmic event that happened that probably makes living on this earth not worth living on. Like, I don't know. I don't think that we ever get down below 30 again. I really don't. I think that this has been a long time coming with inflation, the, you know, definition of the currency, natural inflation that's milked into the fiat system. I don't see us getting back down there. I feel like our low point, and you know, I talk about this all the time. I feel like our low point would probably be in like the 45-ish range, 40 to 45 range would be our low. And I feel like I honestly feel like we're in a really good spot right now. I'm very happy with where we're at, and as long as it's trading up and down here, like I see no reason to be concerned about anything. Anyone interested in a vintage 1,000-ounce bar? Goodness gracious, Oxby, that's a nice one. That's a nice bar. The only problem with that, Oxby, is like it's hard to offload stuff like that, isn't it? Am I crazy, or do you have to like when anybody here? I've never sold a 1,000-ounce bar, or even tried. Right? Think about a channel change going to strictly cat videos. Okay. West Texas Stacker. Yeah, if your goal is I'll be honest, I don't think that the YouTube content creation talk is all that exciting for an audience to hear people talk about, my personal opinion. But if you just did shorts about cats and dogs, you could get to 100,000 subscribers and 1 million views in like a month, right? That's why you like I don't know. I was about to say something that I was about to say something that was going to probably piss some people off, so I'll just keep it to myself. But yeah. Anyway, what I was asking is, Oxby, how do you sell a 1,000-ounce bar? Like, is that something that you go to the LCS and they price it for you? I would imagine that there's not very many people like actually buying 1,000-ounce bars ever, right? At the retail level. I don't see a point in it unless you're just trying to like, you know, money transfer. Like let's say you came into a few $100,000 from like a mortgage sale or a business, you know, a business popped off and you've got to transfer money into like one thing and you're just going to buy a 1,000-ounce bar. But personally, me, I'd rather have 1,001-ounce rounds. That's just the way I operate. My mind operates than having a big 1,000-ounce bar. But yeah, I'm just curious, like, how do you offload that? How do you get a good price for that? Because it's got to be really, really hard to sell. I'm assuming that you go to an LCS and they just offer you whatever a refiner would buy it from them, correct? I get they probably don't care about the vintage part of it, right? I don't know. You're a retired disabled vet. A retired disabled vet friend of yours needs funds. I have no idea of the best way to get him as much as possible for it. A local will buy it for about $1.50. I mean, Oxby, from what I would say, if I were advising your friend, which I'm really not, but if I were advising your friend, I would say to wait until silver got back up to like $78 to $80. I would expect it's probably going to get to $78, $80 in the next few weeks. That's my guess. It could be wrong. If he needs the money now, like, you know, if he needs the money right now, I think getting $1.50 back of spot for a 1,000-ounce bar, it seems fair to me. That seems fair to me. That's a hard thing to move, right? That's a lot of money and a hard thing to move. Now, I would make sure that the money is wired and transferred to me and that's all settled and everything before I gave up the bar, unless you knew the person that was buying it. But I wouldn't be taking a check or anything like that and then waiting for that to clear for 2 weeks before I got my money. Hell no. We would be meeting at the bank and I would be having that bank teller transfer the money from that one person to my account. You know what I mean? Forget your bones. I was looking at this star alignment. I know what's happening with silver next. Oh, okay. Thanks, Rural. Let us know, dude. Let us know. I don't see silver moving or anything moving until the water's open. I'll be honest, selfish. I don't think the war in Iran has anything at all to do with the precious metals contracts selling on the COMEX. I really don't. I think that I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, but there's such a detachment of these markets with the real world. So now, if we were having this conversation 30 years ago, I would agree with you. International Stacker Mike Sony, he offloads heavyweight. Yeah, no disrespect or whatever felt on that one, Selfish Stacker. Yeah, I would say like my channel is not the place to try to solicit the purchase of a 1,000-ounce bar, right? That's just a lot of money. But I would say International Stacker has a Discord. It's going to be hard to sell something like that if you just pop into a Discord for one day and try to sell it. You know what I mean? But no, that's where I mean, I'll be honest with you. That kind of a price, I wouldn't do an online deal. I'm sorry. I would just get a very reliable source, a trusted source like an LCS that's near you, and I would work out a deal with them, and I would make it very clear that the payment is going to settle. I would probably have like a arbiter, right? Somebody who could that both, you know, like a bank or somebody would hold something for us until the money was transferred and completed, and then the bank would, you know, like a title company kind of thing, would give the metal to the buyer after it was cleared, something like that. I would take it a little bit serious. I wouldn't offload it on a Discord channel or a YouTube channel. That's just me. Anyway, well, what we're saying that was meant to be as a joke. Okay, yeah. Well, I got the joke. I got the joke. What were we talking about? We were talking about. Oh yeah, yes. SGT said, or I'm losing track of it, that it was because of the Strait of Hormuz and the waters and stuff like that, and the wars and stuff. 30 years ago, that was absolutely true. That kind of stuff would have massive impacts on stock markets, hell, even housing markets, precious metals, oil, you know, all that stuff, right? It would have had massive things like that could have been like a 20-30% move in a week back in the day. But back in the day, there wasn't stupid, ridiculous money in these markets. There weren't many trillionaire funds manipulating markets up and down. And when I say manipulating, I don't mean doing anything illegal. I just mean like they have the money to buy things in whatever, or sell things in whatever direction they want the price to go. The stock market and these online commodity markets and all this stuff, like they are detached from the real world. Now, if there's a huge, gigantic economic collapse, a legit one where like literally, Depression era, like citizens are dying on the street, right? Even I guess you could even almost point to COVID, but COVID was COVID was like a 35% drop that fully recovered within 30 days. Like, let's think about that. If we had a depression era situation where people literally couldn't afford to buy food and they were dying because they didn't have electricity for AC in the summers, and like elderly people were passing away, like they just couldn't afford their health care and they can't afford to eat and stuff like that, like a true actual economic collapse. Yes, then you couldn't detach the markets anymore. Like, obviously, if people can't spend their money on purchasing options and shares and stuff like that, it's going to happen. But there's too much money in these markets, most of it being traded algorithmically on a computer, where if there's certain news cycles that hit a certain percentage, it buys it. If there's and then after it's made a certain percentage, it sells it. They don't care at all. Like, they don't care. They just truly don't care. These half day blips that you get when there's some quote unquote news, like, most of it is like a false causation correlation, if that makes sense. Hey, Catcom, what's going on, bud? Oh, you got you won, right? That you got your giveaway winning, Catcom. Thanks for letting us know, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, throw it up there on the community post on me if you don't mind, and throw up the community post thing. That way people know that we actually do a legit giveaway, and we actually send the product off. The SpaceX IPO is going to pull all the money out of everything in gold and silver. Yeah, I think you're being facetious again, Rural Stacker. If you're getting in the SpaceX IPO, I hope you're getting in at like a founder price. Otherwise, you're gonna be holding the bag of the founders when they sell after like whatever. I don't know what their release period is. It's like 30, 60, 90 days, something like that probably. Or they have like limited amounts that they can sell off to take profits. You bet your bottom dollar there's gonna be a lot of selling when the price hits a certain point. I will candidly, I will invest in SpaceX. I believe a lot in what they're doing with Starlink and their government contracts and all the foundations of AI that they're doing. I believe in all of that, but I will wait for the price kind of get rug pulled. If that takes 6 months, I'll wait 6 months. If it takes a year, I'll wait a year. I'll wait for the price to come down before I get in, but I will buy shares because, again, it's kind of like Amazon to me. Like, fundamentally, I think that the technology that they have is so far advanced of anything else in the world. I think it'd be foolish not to want a piece of that business. But like, we can wait. We can wait. I might buy one share just for, shits and giggles on release day, on IPO day. But I'm not putting any real money in until there's a collapse. They have a limited 30, 60, 90. Okay. Yeah. Okay. December they can sell. So yeah, you want to wait till, I'm not telling anybody what they should and shouldn't do, right? I'm talking about myself, but, for me, I'd probably be waiting till, January or, to see the dust settle off the first initial sales. I want to sell some silver to buy more XRP yesterday. No way. Is he chasing the gains, West Texas? That's kind of wild. So, or is she watching too much of Economic Ninja? Are you guys watching too much Economic Ninja on the household? Maybe we need to put, maybe my friend, maybe we need to do swap Economic Ninja out for some sermons. Rug pull like the hawk to a coin. I mean, some of these things are SGT. Some of these things in life are like, like the movie 300. You have that Spartan hole in the middle of the town, and it's just a hole that you fall into and die. And I feel like in some ways, there are things that exist in this world. They are just like giant Spartan holes with no caution signs around them, no warnings, nothing like that. It's just a hole in the ground, and it's there to cull the herd. If you're dumb enough to just walk into the hole and die, it probably makes the entire civilization better. So I feel like a lot of these economic traps and stuff that are out there, it's there to just to keep things, on the even keel. Anyway, that's probably a little bit too brutal for a morning talk show about precious metals, but I feel like there's some things that sometimes you need to let people just kind of handle themselves, and if they're dumb enough to do it, let them do it. And I'm not talking about, by the way, I'm not talking about XRP here. I'm talking about meme coins and these rug pull coins and these things like that exist that are obviously a scam from the start. Anyway, some people do feel that way about crypto. I want to clarify, I'm not saying that about all crypto, but yeah, when somebody creates a coin out of thin air to celebrate their disgusting, slutty behavior, I think that you probably know you're going to get rug pulled on that one. All right, anyway, guys, I think we've derailed enough for a morning show again about precious. Is Dragoon concerned at all about any of this? Nope. We're just chilling. This is exactly what we expected. This is what we've talked about. This is the channel that we're in, and we've been in this channel for so long. It's a beautiful one. I'm not talking about my unicorn fart dust. There you go. Hey, great. We're in this channel, and unless I see something devastating that breaks out of it, I really don't have much else to say. But I'm going to keep doing these because I enjoy talking about the technical analysis of these charts and stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed as well. Serious question, though. Whatever happened to the get rich slowly reality? Are we too greedy? Are we too greedy? No. Rural, that's what I was talking about. You guys remember when I said 30 years ago, the conversation's different? I myself, okay, none of this was financial advice. Play the disclaimer, my friend. Play the disclaimer. But I have been, will this work? There you go. Hey, look at this. All right, we good? Okay, we're all good now. I actually am an investment broker. I have been investing for many, not many, I was gonna say many decades, but I have been, for more than 2 decades, I have been investing in these markets. I have seen a lot. I'm not the oldest person in the room, and I'm not the most experienced person in the room, and I'm sure there's people that have other opinions besides me, but I have been involved in these markets for over 20 years. Not gold and silver, but general markets, options, commodities, stocks, stuff like that. All right. I got licensed in it. So I am currently an acting licensed investment broker. Okay. Things have changed, and I've had to come to that reality myself. People are no longer happy with like an 8 to 10% growth rate in a year, because we have this culture now of absolute trading, throw risk out the window. Like, who cares if I can 100x something? Like, it's worth any type of risk to do it. Okay, that's fine. So that get rich slow, the get rich slow was, what would you say that was, Rural? That's like a 6 to 8% annual return, right? And the idea with that is like, every, whatever it is, you divide it by 72, and that many years, every 12, let's call it every 10 to 12 years, you double your money. That was the old school mentality. Like that was what you dreamed of, right? Like that was making it good. And now, I'll be quite frank with you. A lot of people you talk to, they expect 5% a day. And it's hard not to agree with them, though, because like when you look at any of these markets, right? What's silver at right now? Let's see. Silver's down. Current silver price is down $2.65 a day. So what this is telling me is that if I had bought puts, which is shorting SLV yesterday, I probably could have made 25% by market open. What time are we at? 8. So by 9:30, I probably could have made 25 to 50%, and I'm done with my day. 9:30 a.m. I sell my puts for a hefty profit, and I'm done. And I've made 50% in a day. And it's sadly, it's not sad. It's not sad. It's a good thing. It's an opportunity for anybody to do really well, right? It is that easy, and everybody has access to it, right? Every single person on this earth right now can start up an online account on any brokerage with $0. You know, you might have to put $100 in there. So you seed it with $100. There's no fees. There's no transaction cost. There's no trading cost. There's nothing. You just do it, right? Like you just do it. And then you could just start trading and, you know, making 2% a day 20 years ago, that was really good. Like if you can make 1 or 2%, like a stock didn't even move, but like 3 to 5% a year. It's just a different world, man. That's my take on it, Rural. Like things have just, everything is faster. Everything moves faster. Everything's exponential. Like we have passed, in my opinion, we have completely passed the point of no return on everything. I mean, inflation, debt, the rate of change, the velocity of change. There's no putting the genie back in the bottle anymore. So like it's probably like 5 years ago, like I had to like actually think to myself, like, this is the way things are. Stop fighting it, stop arguing it, stop trying to figure it out. Like just accept the fact that crap moves 5% a day constantly. And I also apologize, I didn't realize that my my title was going to be foreshadowing this morning. So I do apologize to everybody that I was not trying to you know, push the direction of silver with the goofy title this morning. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you just bought 5 Morgans. It's okay, Catcom. I think you're gonna be fine. I think you're gonna be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. We will come back. And again, we can go right back here. What are we at? I mean, I don't even know what the SOV is at, but like, gosh darn this stupid pen. How do I turn the pen off? Anybody? Right click, maybe? Yeah, there you go. Okay. It's not that cataclysmic yet. It will be okay. It'll be okay. And I what happens now is typically what we'll see probably is we got the sell off on this Friday, and then come Monday, the bots are gonna see that it's oversold, right? They're gonna look at stuff. I don't have my charts up, but they're gonna look at stuff like the MSI, right? The RSI. They're gonna look at the MACD. They're gonna look at all these things, and some bot's gonna determine that it's in the oversold category. And once it gets into the oversold category, they will start to buy contracts back up, and then the price will come back up. You know, I'm getting ready to put a fat buy order in if we dip below the 60s. If we dip into the 60s, I would be buying. No, not. You wouldn't be buying the contract, Darren. Sorry, I wasn't very clear on what you would be buying. But like, first off, the $100 was the $100 was a statement to show that you don't need any money to be able to open accounts. Okay, just to be clear with that. And then the $100, what you would be doing with that, Darren, you'd be buying the SLV. You just throw $100 into the SLV. You get whatever it is, 1.3 shares, and then you sell it. You make your $5 and you move on, right? What's up, servants? How you doing, bud? That was the point there, Darren. Sorry if I wasn't very clear in stating that. But yeah, I wasn't talking about the mini contracts or anything like that. Those obviously you would need a couple thousand to be able to play the margin on that. I didn't even retoss all the red circle on the silver smoky helmet and click. Dang, hey, I appreciate it, Selfish. Thank you, sir. Thank you. For hopping in. I'm getting ready to put a fat buy order if we dip into the 60s. I think that we will. I don't think we're going to be in the 60s right away. Again, I'm pretty open with what I think. I think that we're going to kind of have a rebound when we get to the low when we get to the low 70s. I think we'll rebound a little bit, probably pump back up to like $75, $76 an ounce. And then I think over time, as we keep setting these lower highs and these lower lows, which is why we're in this kind of like declining wedge channel, I do think eventually we do get to the 60s. And again, here's why. If I go to the 1 year chart and I look at the old the old 200-day moving average, 200-day moving average is at $61. And I do believe that we will continue to try to like trend towards this 200-day moving average and for a while. So my prediction is that, in the next few months, we will be in the, 65, 70 range, but we'll see. I'm still buying though. I'm not like, oh, just hold off until it gets there and then I'll buy. Nah, I just buy. Who cares? Did you sign off on this thumbnail? 200-day moving average is about, let's just call it 61. Let's call it $61. All right. If we form a wick that's higher than the previous low at 60, that's a great sign. We are above a regional low and are likely to rebound strongly. We'll see. We'll see. I hate the SLV only because the banks use shorts to shares to short, at least have done in the past. Yeah. Well, Darren, I mean, 100%. Like we've documented proof of them doing that, Darren, on the COMEX with the contracts as well. I mean, banks are probably the largest institution that are actually trading contracts on the COMEX options, or excuse me, futures contracts. So yeah, but SLV, I mean, I trade everything. I don't care. I will buy options, call options and puts in the SLV, and I will sell them for a profit. I don't care because again, it's completely disconnected. None of this matters. Like it's just disconnected with my retail physical holdings. I don't care. Spot price is maintained by institutions that have no concern over the normal people at all. So, and they're just trying to make as much money as they possibly can. So we just have to accept it and not worry too much about it, right? Just kind of move on. Let's go here. Bam. You can see some coins since I'm kind of done talking about the charts. Thank you all for thank you for all your financial advice. Yeah, that's the funniest thing, right? SGT, it's like every single YouTube channel gives like a plethora of what their advice is, but this is just me talking to myself and my future daughter who might watch this. That's the only people I'm talking to right here. I'm one who believes the gold is gone from Fort Knox. Dude, I don't know, man. I think there's probably something in Fort Knox. There's probably some gold, right? Some gold bars. I don't think it's all there. I don't think it's all accounted for. I think it's all been pillaged and spread across the globe. But yeah. I'm a scared cat when it comes to trading. Only ever lost money, so quickly give that up. Well, you got to trade until you start winning, Rural. I trade all the time. I mean, I've got active open trades right now. Like I could probably pull them up. I don't want y'all really. I've got multiple trading accounts, so it's not that big of a deal to me. You'll put like 50K in one and 25K in another and a couple grand in another, and just like you just trade. Who cares? What are we at here? Nah, nothing exciting going on that one. WTI has been one that I'm trading. It's just West Texas crude. I've been trading WTI. Yeah, Catcom, that's exactly right. The Fort Knox, Jamie G's been taking the coins out of there for as long as he can remember. He has a lot of those nice coins. He does. I think that no matter what happens, I mean, I'll ask an honest question to the audience here for you. No matter what is reported about Fort Knox, will anybody in the chat actually believe what is said or shown? Just an honest question. Like, is there anybody left who will believe anything that is thrown up on the news or made into a news article? Will you believe any videos that you see? Will you believe any pictures that you see? Will you believe any credible sources' words about what is actually in Fort Knox? Yeah, just don't lose money, Rural. Duh. Yes. Hey, Rural. Winners win, okay? All right? All right? Like, yeah. Have you tried to stop losing? Have you tried actually making money? Yeah, you get it now. You finally get it, dude. See, you need to watch the channel more often. I can actually help you. Here's how to stop losing money when trading. Is to stop losing money when you're trading. Only make money. Freaking easy, man. Freaking easy. Have you seen Jesse Livemore chart compared to silvers where it's an accumulation chamber? I have not, actually. That's cool. I will, Darren, you said that's Jesse Livermore. Jesse Livermore. I'll make sure I go check it out. Is it a YouTube thing or is it like is it just like a news thing? What's he doing? But I'll check it out, man. I like looking at other people's thoughts. I'm skeptical of everything on the internet. No. It's like who really killed JFK. They'll believe it. They say that's not as much left, but that's because that's the bias. Just yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, I told you guys I'm a sarcastic, cynical bastard. you know, and that's probably how it's gonna stay. And it just gets worse and worse the older I get, and the more I learn, and the more I read about, and the more I understand. I just get more and more cynical and less trusting of what I'm told from anybody. Amina, do you sleep? What's up, my man, Penny Scout? Good to see you guys. Appreciate all of you guys. I may have started a little too early for most of the crowd. We kicked it off real early this morning. My dog just got neutered, so we're up and at it with that boy often. So, you know, dealing with his cone and taking him out, and, you know, keeping him from running and jumping and acting like a dog, you know. All right, boys. Yep, I think it's a good send off right there, Rural. Hey guys, just here's the last takeaway. The last takeaway before you guys go. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you might have to go back and watch the live stream. But all I ask for my audience is to not be the type of people that walk into the Spartan hole. Okay, and if I can help any of you, not be the one that walks into a Spartan hole, I will feel like I've done my deed for society. Okay. Anyway, Pajama Stock, appreciate you, brother. Most famous stock trader that lived 100 years ago and is still required reading for new stock brokers. I'll check it out. Jesse Livermore. So it's a book. Okay. I love books, my friend. You're in the right place. If you're accumulate, it's where it's. Okay. So is it a book? Help me out, Darren, before I go. Before I kick the bucket here, is it Jesse Livermore? Is it a book specifically about silver, or like what am I looking for? Because you said it was 100 years ago. So how is he creating accumulation chambers in today's markets if he was alive 100 years ago? So there must be like references in the book. Hit me up with a book title or something. I'll check it out. Punch that clock roll. Got a load of I took off Wednesday through Friday this week from my main work so that I can take care of the old puppers, and my wife's birthday is today, so we're gonna go out, and I already got her all of her gifts and stuff, and then we're probably gonna do some sushi and wine and kind of hang out tonight and stuff like that. So I can send the chart to you. How that's a good question. I got my email here, hold on. I got you, buddy. Riddle Financial. .com. There you go, bud. Hit me with an email if you don't mind, Darren, and I will check it out. You guys want a good book? A good book I just read that I legit think that anybody who cares about the future of the United States in this world, you should go read The Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. All right, that book is very eye-opening. I think it's very, from what I can tell, it's very good read. The Changing World Order. Ray, it was last month or 2 months ago's book of the month, but The Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. You got to read that book, guys. Everybody. All right. Appreciate you guys. Yep, we will have a good day. We're going to be hanging out and hopefully getting some sun on the back deck and going, you know, get a good dinner. We watched some sports last night. We're going to be watching the Premier Lacrosse League. I'm a big lacrosse guy. I love lacrosse, and I coach lacrosse, and I played lacrosse. So we're going to be watching the Premier Lacrosse League this evening and eating sushi and relaxing, having a good time. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you all for coming out and enjoying the show with me. I hope it was helpful. Hope you learned something. And remember, it's not financial advice. Peace out. Don't fall in the hole, okay? Don't fall in the Spartan hole, my friends. I'll talk to you later.